Hi everyone, so this is the last lesson and we want to leave by doing teaching you a lesson on how to write clearly, which you might think, well, we should have been learning that all along, and in a way, yes, you're right. But what tends to happen is on this course we teach you lots of techniques and we encourage you to be very ambitious with your vocabulary and ambitious with your sentence structure. And what can happen is sometimes people get a bit bogged down by that and try and cram everything they've learnt into a piece of writing. And it can get a little bit unclear and a bit cluttered sometimes. So you want to make sure that you've, I suppose, retained the purpose of writing, which is to get your point across clearly and succinctly to the reader. So in this lesson we're going to look at that, just how to make sure your writing's clear and succinct, and to look very specifically at what is meant by tautology, which might be a new term for some of you. But yes, we'll learn more about what that is later on. First of all, a quiz. We've got a quiz on the classroom, a recap quiz of everything we've done so far. Have a go at that, see what you've remembered. Stop the video and then come back when you've finished. Okay, so hopefully you got that wasn't too much of a shock for you, and you remembered most things. We're going to move on now to tips on writing clear English. So just a few things to think about. First of all, stop and think before you start writing. We've talked about this a lot, but being very clear about what you want to say, even in the sort of pressurized exam environment, you've still got time to spend a few minutes thinking, now what do I actually want to get across? And then, as you know, we plan those points in the exam. We'd say 4 or 5 very clear points, which would translate to paragraphs. 5 clear paragraphs. Don't forget, you should be able to look at a paragraph and write down in 2 or 3 words the main point of that paragraph. There shouldn't be too many ideas in it. Thirdly, choose the words that are right for the job. Don't choose long words just for the sake of it. We're going to return to that point throughout the lesson. Don't introduce more than 3 ideas or clauses in a sentence. You will get lost. Your sentences will get very long and unwieldy and complicated. You'll lose your way. Short, well-crafted sentences are better than long, confusing ones. Having said that, you do need to vary the length of your sentences. We don't want a whole article full of short, simple sentences. But if you are going to be writing the complex or the compound sentences, don't try and cram too many ideas in. There's no need. You know, full stops are your friend. Use active verbs as much as possible. This is really for the those of you who English is your second language or another language for you, because you might have been taught in some of your lessons that the passive voice is very formal and the thing you need to be doing in formal writing. But really, there's very rarely a need for it. Be direct. Say we will do it rather than it will be done by us. Clear, simple, direct writing. And lastly, a tip is just to imagine that you're talking to somebody. All of you can express yourselves clearly and well when you're speaking. Sometimes when it comes to writing that down, you sort of lose that clarity a little bit and get very, very bogged down in the trying to get all your techniques in, or you think that because you're writing you've got to do things in a different way. But just if you get like that, if you get a little bit panicked and confused, just picture yourself saying that to somebody, or even talk under your breath. You know, try and communicate what it is you want to say by speaking, and then write that down. So what I want to focus on today is words. So on this course we've encouraged you to use ambitious language, and that's great, and hopefully your vocabulary has increased. But too many words, or the wrong words in the wrong place, can be a bad thing. Don't crowd your sentences with unnecessary words. Ask yourself, does each word serve a purpose? Does it add to the meaning or the tone of your writing? And if it doesn't, get rid of it. So tautology. Tautology is when people, it's what we call it when people use several words that mean the same thing to express themselves. So for example, this sentence: I really truly believe that what you are saying is right and accurate. I really truly believe that what you're saying is right and accurate. No need for most of those words. You could just say, yeah, I believe what you say. I believe you. Simple, clear, to the point. We don't need really, truly. We don't need right and accurate. You know, you could really pare that sentence down. And that's known as tautology. And sometimes people mistake it for writing well, but it can make your writing seem fussy and hide what you're really trying to say. Just because you know lots of words, you don't have to use them all at once. Okay. I mean, sometimes there is a place for tautology. Sometimes there is a place for really repeating and repeating yourself and saying the same thing in lots of different ways. But mostly not. Mostly keep your writing clear and succinct. So just an example here. Firstly, I'd like to commence by introducing you to a brand new idea. Yeah, we've got. Firstly, I would like to commence. You're saying the same thing there. These are all about beginning, introducing. So all these really are about starting your sentence. You don't need them all. I will begin by introducing you to a brand new idea. Simple, to the point. You could argue that maybe you don't need this sentence at all. You could just begin without saying you're going to begin. But sometimes it's nice to give an introduction. So the first sentence sounds fancier, but its meaning is clouded by all the unnecessary words. The second sentence is clear and to the point. So on your classroom, there is a tautology assignment. So just go through and see if you can simplify those sentences. See if you can get rid of the unnecessary words. You might have to rearrange the sentences a little bit to get the meaning clear, but just see how you get on. Okay, so hopefully that was an interesting exercise for you, and you managed to pare down those words, those sentences. So I'm going to move on now to your final piece, the final piece of writing you're going to do. And I thought it would be good just to have a bit of a reflect on the course so far, and practice your letter writing skills, and think about where you're going to go from here. Obviously these are quite uncertain times, and it's been a difficult some of your plans may have had to have changed. It's an uncertain time, and I think writing can really clarify your thoughts sometimes. It can really help you understand, you know, what you've been through, what you've learned, what you've understood, and what you'd like to do next. So I thought that'd be quite a useful exercise for you. So I'd like you to write me a letter talking about what you've learned over the last year, what you plan to do with your qualification, and your hopes for the future. Now, you don't have to limit yourself to talking about the course. It's been a challenging time, and you can discuss how recent events, how coronavirus has shaped your life, and how you think you'll be changed by the recent events. And you can talk more widely about the future of the country if you like, if you've got, you know, some quite strong views about where you think the country should be going, or the world should be going after this. Get them down. But remember to be quite succinct, obviously. We don't want a novel. So the usual rules apply. We want 5 clear ideas divided into clear paragraphs. Write in clear sentences. Choose your words carefully. Bear in mind what we've just learnt in this lesson about tautology, and not overwriting. If you get stuck, imagine you're talking to me, imagine you're telling me what you want to do, and that should unclog your brain a bit and make it easier. And reread your work for accuracy at the end. It's a stage that's often forgotten, but you need to read through your work, read through your sentences. Do they actually make sense? And then submit it. And I very much look forward to reading everything. So, goodbye, good luck. It's been lovely having you on the course. I hope you've learned some things, and do stay in touch. We'd love to hear what everybody's up to. Thanks very much.